seen several people that are grounded in the field of research whose journey has been different from various fields. They have come and now they are doing research. Last week we featured Mr. Emmanuel Oyelakin and Mrs. Ayomide. And the previous week we have Dr. Ujidi who talked to us about how wide the field of research is. So today we are doing another series. We are talking to two panelists, Dr. Tamunu Okubo at the Tempo and then we are talking to Mr. Christopher Bamidele. So let me just tell you briefly about these two. So Dr. Addah is a psychologist, a clinical and health psychologist. He is currently a lecturer at Obalabisi University in Ogun State, Nigeria. He's a public mental health enthusiast and trained in clinical and health psychology. He's also the founder of the Mental Health Support Initiatives and is a fellow of the Council for the Development of Social Science Research in Africa, CODESRIA, and Ife Institute of Advanced Study, where he's a fellow. I've known him for quite some time. He's a very nice person. He's one of the best persons I know on earth. And he likes to play football, at least among other things.
At least among other things.
Okay. Also with us, we have Christopher Bamidele. He holds a bachelor's degree in environmental engineering. In environmental engineering and the master's in environmental control and management from Obatemi University. Received an African Doctoral Academic Scholarship for scientific research and endeavor at the University of Ghana and certificate of monitoring and evaluation of public health programs from the Software Plus years of experience, he specialized in quantitative and qualitative research, database management, red cap, and happy applications, Yakubu Funding and services. I think there's some background, there's some feedback.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Please, I want to request that everybody mute their mic.
Please, I want to request that everybody mute their mic for now. Thank you very much.
Then we saw Mr. Bamidele is skilled in Microsoft Excel, is skilled in SQL, Stata, R, SPSS, Atlas T, and GIS tools. He focuses on project monitoring and evaluation. Currently, is a Red Cap administrator at the Africa Research Group for Oncology, managing databases, ensuring data integrity, and supporting researchers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me Mr. Christopher Bamidele. You are welcome to this discussion, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So let's begin. Dr. Addah, can you tell us your journey into the field of data analysis and research? Dr. Addah, sir.
Oh, sorry. I never knew I have been called upon to speak. I am sorry for for that little break.
It's fine, sir.
Okay, like
It's fine, sir.
yes, like my friend Idu has rightly mentioned. Um, it's really an opportunity or a privilege to be one of the panelists today. And of course, as always, I do not take it for granted. I really appreciate this privilege. And to my friend who is a co-panelist, Chris, it's nice seeing your face again. Your face hasn't changed. You are still looking like you used to be. It's it's a good one. Okay. You know, when we were in school, I mean in the university days, the things we do for fun, we never knew would turn out to be something meaningful to us. I remember when my supervisor during our undergraduate program, Professor Addah, approved a topic for me. I can't forget. religiosity and religious affiliation, on attitude towards the mentally challenged in Ife. My friends left me. They said that should not be an undergraduate work. And I had to sum up courage, walked up to my supervisor, and I said to him that, sir, I think this work is difficult, but I'm not scared. Irrespective of my grade, I am here to learn. And he looked at me, he smiled. He said, are you sure you want to learn? I said, yes, sir. And we started. Like I said, I won't forget. Professor then made me go to different religious settings. I was surprised when he also said I should go to the traditional worshippers somewhere in Ife. I went there, stayed with them for 2 days, gave them questionnaire they filled, asked few questions. I came back. And with all of those, when we gathered results and the like, it made sense to me. And I told him that I still want to learn more. He said he doesn't have the time to teach me. Well, in my little way, I started writing. It became clearer to me that I think I will do well here. But one of the mistakes I have made in life is this, especially as a researcher. And that's what my friend Chris is going to tell us about. Is that while others were learning statistical tool, I was seriously developing the other side of my life, which was footballing. I was enjoying football. No regrets, no regrets. But like Dr. now Professor Akoni would always say, that which you fail to learn today is waiting for you somewhere in the future. So putting all of this together, it gave me a new cause. Of course, my undergraduate project was the lead into research, and today I am enjoying it to the fullest. I want to tell us that the joy of being a researcher is to be independent. So whatever it is you have to learn now, please learn it. Because tomorrow you might find yourself somewhere where you are the most experienced. And if you mislead people, we all know what will happen to result. So this is a little intro on how I became a researcher.
So that's amazing.
So
Thank you
that's
very much, sir.
amazing. Thank you very
Um,
much, sir.
Dr. Chris, let me call you Dr. Chris
Dr.
now.
Chris,
Hopefully
let me
that
call you
one will
Dr.
be
Chris
to me.
now. Hopefully that one will
Please,
be
can you
to me.
talk to us, sir,
Please, can you talk to
about
us,
your
sir?
journey in the field of data analysis and research? Mr. Chris, sir, Dr. Chris, please talk to us about your journey in the field of
Okay.
data analysis and
Can
research.
you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes, we can.
I hear you, sir.
good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. I must say it's a really great privilege. And please do not mind Dr. Addah. I wish I had the privilege to also play football while he was playing football because I'm not physically fit. I can't even remember the last time I did push-ups. So while you're trying to learn data or gather requisite skills on all of these, you must also balance your life with exercise because that was what Mr. Addah was doing. And as you can see, he spoke like someone who is physically fit. And that's one take from here for me today. So I will begin by saying that my journey to research started when I was an undergraduate at the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi. Uh, then I had this course I needed to do, this topic. It was a bit cumbersome for me because I needed to design um, it, what do you call it? A fruit juice machine. So I did not know how to go about this, and I started asking questions. And this is one of the first things you develop as a researcher. You ask questions, regardless of whatever research you're doing. What you start with, you start by asking questions. And although it wasn't a very robust research at that point, because I had little mentorship from my advisor, but I still pulled through in the end. And so when I came to Obafemi Awolowo University for my postgraduate program, my master's, having completed this master's, had already taken courses in advanced statistical analysis. So when I was done, I sat back and asked myself, what am I going to do in my life after now? I was thinking what to do, what not to do, how to go about it. And this also helped me to start asking questions. And I started seeing, I saw guys doing one thing or the other, and I became interested. Like so many of us were interested in one thing or the other, but how to start is usually the problem. So what I did was I sought for opportunity. How did I do that? I asked around, how can I learn this? How can I be integrated into this program? How can I be involved in research and all of that? And someone recommended the Institute of Public Health of Obafemi Awolowo University. So I went there, I introduced myself as someone who is interested in research. I told them what I want to do. I told them how I would be of help to the institute, because while you're also going to a place where you can gather knowledge, you're also you want to also be someone who can give back and not take. So it's a give and take thing. So I approached them, I spoke to them, and I got involved in some of their researches in the course of my volunteering. And to be frank, this exposed me to a lot of research opportunities. And while doing that, I got engaged in several tasks, because a part of my background is geographic information system. So I helped in developing maps, doing some analysis and all of that. So this helped me, and in the course of that, I was able to build network. Yeah, amongst students of different background. It was at that time I met Dr. Idowu and several other persons. So you know, iron sharpened iron. So we sharpened our skills together. I learned some things from him, and I must say that building a network, engaging with research, attending a number of conferences would also help you, because it's a kind of collaboration, and this will bring you open doors. Then one thing I did consistently was I did not stop learning. And so my current position today as the REDCap administrator at the African Research Group for Oncology culminated as a result of all of these experiences that I've gathered in the course of time. So I had the privilege of managing the database of the organization, developing REDCap and all of that, and also talking to training research assistants on how to, make use of this instrument. So I think this is how I have been able to come to this level today. I started by asking questions. I took out opportunities, got to a place where I can learn one or two things. In fact, it was during my internship that I learned how to use Sticker. It was during my internship I got the opportunity to participate in the monitoring and evaluation training program. It was during the internship that during the internship that I got to, network with a group of researchers like Mr. Idowu and the likes. And these are some of the things I was able to get. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chris. That was an interesting story. It's nice to hear from the two of you on how you started your research journey. So I have two more questions, surprisingly, and then I will allow the audience to ask their questions. Can you mention one high point in your journey as a data analyst, Mr. Chris Bamidele? Your mic is on mute, sir.
Please come again.
Okay, I'm asking, can you mention one high point in your journey as a data analyst?
Okay, one high point. One thing I've been able to come across, or one thing I've been able to learn from these experiences as a data analyst is the fact that people have specific requirements for what do you call it? In the course of data collection, there are specific objectives for each what do you call it, the researcher. And what I got to learn from this is sometimes people without these experiences tend to gather data without, first of all, talking with the biostatistician or your data analyst. Now, because they help you in designing your research too. And one of the downsides I've had with people who have not done that is you have to go back and gather data again, because you can analyze data to meet your research objectives when that data is not the right data. So many a times they collect the wrong data and they want to meet this thing. And sometimes some persons tell you, oh, do it like this, do it like this. And I'm not this kind of person that will say, oh, let's patch it up. No, you must do the right thing. So one of my experiences with guys is they gather data without liaising with the analyst. And that has been a problem. And so what I normally tell them, or what I usually tell them now is, if you have certain objectives that you want to meet in the course of your research, talk to the professional, sit down, develop the tool together so that you can understand the kind of questions you need to ask when you go out in the field. This has been something that is quite helpful because it's going to reduce your time. You won't have to do much cleaning operations and all of that because you already know what you are looking out to get. Thank you.
Mr. Dr. Tamunosa, could you please tell us one high point in your journey as a researcher? The high point is one of your most memorable experiences. You felt like you are on top of the world.
Okay. Of course, there are too many experiences, but like you said, you're asking for one. The same things we do every day that we have been panel beated severally whenever we go for presentations. The same thing we've been doing. I won't forget in 2023, let me mention the most recent one, was when I was still in field work, collecting data for my PhD study, and a particular friend of mine, Dr. Tayo, would always come to my unit at the health center of Bafemaholo University Health Center, and he would say, oh boy, apply for this thing now. Then it was Codestra that was open. I said, Tayo, I don't usually have luck for all these things. That's why I don't play lottery. I don't disturb myself over things like this. He said, just try. I remember he came 5 days before the closure of the call. I refused. So 2 days to the closure of the call, I said, okay, let me just put some things in my PhD work and just send to these people so that this guy will leave me alone. So I did it in his presence. I put my write-up, put the whole methodology, did some little things. Ordinarily, when you want to send such to Codestra, there must be referees, your supervisor, HOD, then the dean. 3 of these persons must write. I didn't submit any of those supporting documents. It was just my proposal, my Form A. For those of us from Obafemi University doing postgraduate program, you understand what Form A is. So I submitted my Form A and Form B+. Those were all administrative forms that I submitted alongside my proposal. Surprisingly, not to down talk him, But my friend who had submitted long time ago with all the supporting documents and his referees or referee report wasn't contacted. They contacted me the first time. I looked at him. I said, Tayo, these people don't send message. You don't receive anything. He said no. I said, okay. And the next mail I received, I still asked him again, did you receive anything from these people? He said no. So not too long, they now said they have picked me that I should send my international passport page. Tayo, how far now? You will do everything, they not pick you. He said no. So that's how I traveled first with that opportunity, fully sponsored by Codestra, and I became a fellow of Codestra. What am I saying in essence? One of those days, in fact, about the last day of our induction into Codestra, I asked them, why did you pick me, even when I did not submit all the documents? He said my work was different from the way I wrote and my methods, and they wanted me to come share my experience with them and how I would want to do everything. Okay. And Codestra wasn't looking at a clinical work. My work was on looking at a physical health challenge and to see if we can have mental health conditions associated with physical health challenge. That was what I was looking at. And I was asking them, why did you call me? They said, because of the way I wrote, because of how I simplified the steps, that's why I qualified. So in answering my friend's question of the highlights of my movement as a researcher, I think that is a big plus to me. Like how I started. The same things we would do in our departmental seminars, maybe during our presentations, and our lecturers will castigate us. Sometimes they will even condemn what we have done. Oftentimes, almost all of us did it, that we will see that the person who is talking to us does not have respect for us, see how he just condemned the work. I think I would want to add that we should start seeing these things not in negative but of positive, and see what we can gather from the I wanted to say condemnation, no, but the responses, the feedbacks we get from our senior colleagues. Putting all of these together will also give us an highlight very soon. I think that's what I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chris, I want to just talk again. What was one of the most outstanding experiences you have had as a data analyst? One high point, one event that stood out that was like the peak so far in your journey as a data analyst. And while we are waiting to hear from you, if you have questions, please raise your hand, or you can also drop it in the chat. We'll be taking questions now. Thank you. Over, Mr. Chris.
Okay, so I got this project I was going to do. It involved developing a curriculum, a GIS curriculum. So I was thinking thinking, how am I going to go about this? Because it's not what I've done before. And so I spoke with the coordinator, and one thing I learned with that experience was he gave me a tool, he gave me a guide on how to go about it. And to be frank, I've never shot a video. And in the end, I shot 39 videos. I started with 1, 2, and I got to the 39th. And when I looked at what had happened, I told myself is we just need a push. And that was what helped. Now, the experience I had with that was, when you have done something and you're now instructed to, okay, tell or teach some other persons. You want to test yourself on what you've learned and see if you'll be able to pass this information. And so I did that to 3 students, and my interest in the end was their feedback. I wanted to know what, because we needed to analyze, there's a spatial analysis we needed to do, and we assign different. I assign different students with a different geographic location where they need to map and all of that. And so, in the course of that, I instructed them on how to go about this, and I saw improvement. Like there was this strong dedication. People were doing ordinarily what they wouldn't have done. I'm talking about women, not just younger persons. Women who are married, and you see them with their mouse, their computer, and they were doing this analysis. And that was a high point for me because aside just teaching, you want to also see the results. And I started seeing that, oh, people can actually be independent when they are given the right tool. And this was a very high point for me. Another time was the first time I did an analysis. It was an experience for me. I was still trying to like check out what is this thing going to be like. Have you had this eureka moment where you're beginning to see graphs come alive, and you're now using that to make informed decision? This was my experience, and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. What can I do next with this? You use chat, and these things started looking like not like film trick per se. They started looking like things you can interact with. You know, when you do things and you interact with them and you're seeing results. This was my high point as a data analyst. And I said, I need to do more and more. The fact is this: once you continue to do more and more and ask more questions, you get to be exposed to different kind of problems. My background is environmental engineering. Today, I've been exposed to research in public health. I've been exposed to research in environmental health, and these experiences has helped me as a data analyst. And I'm very much interested in working with large data sets today because of the outcome. You will see results, and that's the beauty with it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Please, does anybody have a question for our guests? You can raise your hands or you can drop it in the chat. So while we are waiting for the questions, one of the things I've learned, Dr. Addah talked about the joy of being a researcher is being in depth. Whatever you have to learn now. Please learn, because if you don't learn it now, you come back and learn it later, whether you like it or not. And then Mr. Chris gave a lot of hints on how to build your career. He said, build network, attend conferences, don't stop learning, ask questions. Yes, so these are many of the things he mentioned. So if you have any question, you can raise your hand up or you can drop it in the chat. I think I have a question in the chat. Many thanks to the presenters and organizers from Okejola Tosin. Many thanks to presenters and organizers for the privilege of this platform. My question goes to Mr. Chris, the GIS expert, and it goes thus. How does one overcome the challenge of having an S3 licensed software for GIS explorations? Thank you, Mr. Chris, sir.
Wow, that's a really big one, because I myself don't have the licensed GIS. I'm still using the, sorry to say, the cracked version like we always do here in Nigeria. S3 license is quite expensive, and most times what people abroad do is, or the institution gets the license and make it available for students. So that way it's easy for people to get it. However, there's this open source Quantum GIS. It's open source. It does not require a license. You can always get that online. You can download it. You can install on your computer. It's very easy to do. But for the ArcGIS particularly, it requires a license. And to get past that, you will need to crack it. So that's how we've been using it over time. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Anat Lopa is saying, thank you for sharing your experience with us. Dr. Addah, please answer this question. What are the main challenges you have faced and how did you overcome it?
Okay, let me pick up from where my friend Chris stopped. And of course, the most important thing is to be open-minded. A researcher must be open-minded, and you must also drop your biases. I don't know what this means to you, but whatever it means to you is what I mean. You must drop your biases of any kind, because when Professor Iden sent me, I will always make reference to my undergraduate project work, because it was the trigger for me. When Professor Iden sent me to go to the Traditional Worshippers Center in Ife, of course, I was dragging my foot, but eventually when I went there, I learned a lot of things and I came back a different person. That's one. Then two, amidst everything that I did with Professor Ide, I had a 58C in my project work. But let me tell you the sweet side of that. It is that all the corrections I got from him, I was helping my classmates to do their project work. Sincerely, I did 5 project works, including mine. And I scored the list. The rest of them, 62, 64, 66, and I was a 68. I'm proud to say that I did their research work from the beginning to the end. The only thing they did for themselves was preliminary pages. That was at the undergraduate level. So it was a big, in fact, I will never forget making reference to that. And that's the reason up to now I have not forgotten my undergraduate project title, despite several years gone. So challenges will always be there. My friend mentioned Nigeria. Of course, being in Nigeria alone is challenging. As a researcher, research is expensive. Good research is expensive. And it also requires time. I love what he has said as the expert for analysis, that he doesn't subscribe to changing figures or following the shortcut. Good analysis is expensive, and it is not something you sit down and you say, irrespective of your skills, except you are not busy, except you are not engaged, irrespective of your skills, it is going to be difficult to sit down in a month and write something very good. So what am I saying in essence? It requires planning. It requires planning. And the same way we say in safety, just because you have all the skills and you have all the strength to start and finish a research work, we are now advising that if it is possible, please work with other people so that it becomes easier for you. Cultural barrier is also a serious problem with us in Nigeria. When you go to another culture for research work, please never you think that they must do things the way your culture does it. So put that into consideration, cultural barrier. And once you go there, somebody asks that what are the challenges and how do you overcome them? When you go to another culture for research work, please ask the gatekeepers, ask the chiefs, ask the youth leaders. In fact, today we have even included agberos. Ask the agberos, how do you want us to do it so that you collect your data and you come back safe? Not in the place of collecting data, they beat you up. So it's a serious challenge. Religion too is a serious challenge. We must learn how to tolerate ourselves, depending on what you are going for. Professor then sent me to the traditional worshippers. I won't go there and tell them that the way they are praying, because I am a supposed Christian, that they did not call the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. No. So all of these we must put into consideration. Now I have mentioned religion, I have mentioned culture, and I have mentioned cost. All of these things are before us. Do not calculate yourself very well. If you know that your research work is not sponsored or it is self-sponsored, please do not overstretch. Do things within your means. Rather, if it is something that when sponsored might take you like 3 months, now that it is not sponsored and you are funding it alone, you can extend the time frame so that you'll be able to achieve whatever it is you have set aside for yourself to achieve. I think let me just stop with these ones.
Okay,
A good
Dr.
number of
Abdul,
us.
there's
Okay,
another question
There's another question for you.
from
okay.
Temitope Israel.
From the
Thank you for the
Thank you
opportunity.
for the opportunity.
My question is to Dr.
My question is to
Tamuno.
Dr.
I
Tamuno.
am an
I am
agricultural
an
research
agricultural
analyst
research analyst
who has studied
who has
interest
studied interest
in psychology.
in psychology.
Any advice for me on
Any
how to
advice for me on
proceed?
how to proceed?
How do I combine
How do I
psychology and
combine
research?
psychology and research?
Please take the question again. That the person is of the faculty of agric, and he or she is having interest in pathology. Is that what they said?
Psychology.
Psychology.
Oh, they have interest in psychology.
So it's
Of
asking how to
course,
So it's
combine
asking how to
psychology and
combine
research.
psychology and research.
of course. The Department of in agric, the Department of Agricultural Extension. That's how some schools call it. While in other schools they call it agricultural management, and yet in other schools they call it crop research and development (CRD). All of these people, their research work is pointing towards psychology. Yes, their research work is pointing towards psychology, and if you find somebody who is specialized in that area in your department, you can always work with the person. Then aside that, if there is nobody, I am always open working with you. And I want to tell you that wherever humans are gathered, we could have psychological measures there. One of the things that might surprise you is today now the federal government of Nigeria is coming up with several programs for farmers, and the painful side of it that most of these farmers are unable to operate the mobile phones given them by federal government. Operating mobile phone is now a challenge for farmers, and to that end it might affect their psyche a bit. So you could also look at using phones for agricultural input or practices. You could look at those two on the psychological well-being of farmers. So in essence, wherever humans are gathered, psychology plays out. So by the time you look at contemporary issues in or among farmers, you could look at how that could if affect their well-being or their mental health. If we were in the north, we could also look at the effect of insurgency on the products of farmers. There are several ways with which we can look at several other factors within your field. So please look out for somebody in your field. If you don't have anybody there, I can always guide you. And irrespective of your level of study, if your supervisor permits that you tell him that there is somebody who is also open to helping you, I can also, if it is a thesis related work, I can also help you in that regard so that you make sense out of it. And funny enough, this that you have asked concerning agric and psychology or mental health is a place that your people are interested in, and it has a lot of grants. If you are interested, I can also refer you to somebody. I don't know if I've answered to your question.
Yes, that's very
Yeah,
fine. Thank
that's
you very
very
much,
fine.
sir.
Thank you very much,
So,
sir.
Mr. Chris,
So,
sir,
Mr.
we would like to
Chris,
get
we
a
would like to
final
get
word
a
from you.
final word from you.
What do you advise
What do you
anyone that is
advise
starting?
anyone
Okay,
that is
first of
starting?
all,
First of
what is
all,
the future
what
looking
is the
like in the
future
field of
looking
data
like in the
analysis
field of
and
data
research?
analysis and
Mr.
research?
Chris,
Mr. Chris,
sir, what is the future looking
what is
like
the
in the
future
field of
looking like in the
analysis
field
and
of
research?
analysis and research?
Okay, wow.
Agama,
The field of data
Wow,
analysis is
I'm almost done.
like
field
it's
of data
echo.
analysis
Is it
like it's
echoing? I'm getting the feedback here.
Please proceed.
please proceed.
Okay, I said the field of data analysis is quite evolving in several fields today, in health, in medicine, in agriculture, in psychology, whatever field you want to talk about. People are asking questions and they are asking how to get solutions to this question. And in asking questions, a lot of data is being collected, large data is being collected to answer this question. So it is an evolving field. And so, because it's an evolving field, data analysis need to continue to learn and learn how to ask several questions. Just like what Mr. Addah has said, for someone in agriculture, you're looking at the psychology aspects of the farmers. And so this happens in several other fields. You want to intertwine them together and see what can come out of it. So as a data analysis, it is a field that is very lucrative. And my advice is that you should continue to learn. First of all, look out for the tools that are used as a data analysis. There are a number of them. There's Stata, there's R, there's Python, there's SQL. Try to understand how to make use of this tool, because these are tools that will help in answering some of your questions. So also, what I also advise, because it's an evolving field, you need to look out for opportunities. Volunteer. If you can find somewhere where you can put your hands to work, volunteer. Sometimes when you volunteer, you get to learn from the place you're volunteering, just like my experience. So seek out for opportunities, expose yourself to data. Sometimes you don't have to know how to do it. Just get involved. Somebody will guide you on how to do it. Just like what Mr. Addah has said, there are a number of resources out there, human resource, technological resource, and all of that. Today there's ChatGPT, but unfortunately people use it the wrong way. You can develop prompts from your head, ask questions, leverage these technological resources. I'm not saying copy things and paste. No, ask questions, ask your own questions in your own words. Interact with these tools, then build network with people, engage with other researchers. I am available if you want to reach out. Just network, talk to people about your needs, the questions in your mind, and let's talk about it. Then one thing you have to do, you have to be very, very resilient, because sometimes they used to say, what's this word? Now who give up, now lose. So you don't have to give up. There are times when you'll be encountering a number of challenges in the research field. If you want to do a substantial research, it involves funding, good funding. And so if you don't have access to a large number of funding, limit your study to something you can easily do. There are some research you can make specific to your geographic location. Just do things that are easily accessible, things you can that are not far. I mean that are not difficult to reach. Get your hands into these things and make your life easy. Then when you get funding, you can now spread out your tentacles to other places. So these are my little advice to upcoming researchers. Continue to learn. It's an evolving field. Thank you very much.
Very much, sir. Dr. Addah, please, your last word. What is the future? What advice will you give anyone that is starting in this journey?
It will be like I am repeating what my friend Chris has said. Of course, the whole issue about starting anew is that first ask yourself, is it what you truly want for yourself? Because at some point it's going to look like it is frustrating. A researcher's life, technically the life does not belong to him or her again as a researcher, because the moment you delve into the field, a lot of people will be coming for you. Even you won't have time for your own work, so to say. However, my friend has said that we must be resilient, we must be sincere with what we want to do. Don't be tired of learning. In fact, I want to tell everybody who is part of today's program that Idowu has more experience than me, and up till now, I still contact him for some things I want to do. Up till now, I still pay for training sections Idowu wants to conduct. Not because I cannot learn it elsewhere, no. But because of his level of experience, he will teach me better than any other person, at least that I know for now. So don't be tired of learning. Sometimes you think that the money is a challenge. Hey, save up, get the knowledge, you get the money back. So please keep learning. I tell you of a truth. You know, I started with something that which you have failed to learn today is waiting for you sometime in the future. Idowu repeated it. And I want to add that maybe when you will be ready, other things might be struggling for your time and you may not learn it again. And it is something you should have known. You will now keep spending more money for people to do it for you. So I think that research is very, very interesting. So I think that anybody who wants to come to it should come prepared. My friend said something, Chris, that when he went volunteering for Institute of Public Health, that he did not just tell them that he was here to learn, that he also told them what he can do. Now, what he has said, or what he said then, is actually the in thing for anybody who wants to be a mentee. Mentors today are not looking for who they will teach from the scratch. Mentors today are also looking for somebody who can do this and that, so that they will now add theirs. So before you say you want to be a mentee to somebody, please also learn a skill. Don't go there like a blank slate, because your mentor will not teach you how to send a mail or attach a file to send a mail. No, nobody has such time again. Everybody is busy. That was why I said the moment you venture into the field of research as a researcher, you may not have time for yourself again. Yes, because there is always something to do. I mean it. There is always something to do. So please learn a skill before you go to a mentor. And even when you also want to collect people as your mentees, make sure they learn skill first before they come to you. Idowu is always open to teach you anything you want to learn. Feel free to go back to him after this program. Feel free to go back to him. He is always open to teach you whatever you want to learn in research and the likes. I think with this, I will have to shut up so that the coordinator will continue with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please let's give our presenters a round of applause. A big and mighty one, because they've done amazing work today. Thank you very much, Dr. Addah. Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. It's been an honor having my teammate like you in this program. Thank you for sharing with us. I hope you've been able to learn something. Please tweet about it, post it on your social media status, write on your WhatsApp status, the things you have learned, write on your LinkedIn, and tag our presenters, tag our organizations, tag me. I've put our social link on their links on the chat. Dr. Addah's LinkedIn page, Mr. Chris' LinkedIn page is on the chat, so you can easily contact them. They say you can reach out to them, which is true. Reach out to them so that they can be able to give you any sort of help that you may need. And so our organization, like I told, is Project Partner Data Solutions. We're into data analysis, research consulting, training, and internship. And this series you are viewing is part of our training series. For 2025, we have a training brochure, which you can download from this link, bit.ly/PDS brochure. You have to download our training calendar for 2025. So you can follow our presenters on LinkedIn. This is Dr. Addah's LinkedIn page. Just type Tamuno Okubo Temple Addah. Tamuno Okubo means Oluwatobi. That's yeah. So this is LinkedIn page. Just like follow the link in the chat. This is Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris. Is this the original Mr. Chris? It's not your template page. So follow him and you have to connect with him. You can also follow our organization on LinkedIn. Dr. Addah, I can mute the mic, sir. So you can also follow our organization, Project Partner Data Solutions, on LinkedIn. That's the page. You can also search for us on LinkedIn. You'll find us there. And so what you have viewed today is a part of our seminar series that is going to run from now till April 13th. Every Sunday like this, 5 to 6 p.m., We are bringing different kinds of researchers to talk to us. We are hoping to be able to bring a researcher that will talk about the tools that are used in data analysis next week. I'll follow up with him if we'll be able to come and make his presentation. But rest assured, we have a lot of big names that will be talking to us as we go ahead by God's grace. So for our organization, we have upcoming trainings. We have training in data analysis NVivo holding in June and October, on-site and online. We have data analysis in Stata holding this month and in March, July, and November. We have data analysis is Atlas T holding April, August, and December. You'll see the links in our brochure and the details about the training. Our SPSS in data analysis trainings and advanced training is holding in March. And it's a very, very advanced training, and you don't want to miss that kind of training. So this is our LinkedIn page, like I told you earlier. Okay, so the video for this lesson session is going to be on our YouTube page. You'll be able to view it on our YouTube page, and I believe that it's going to make a lot of meaning for you. So please watch out for it. We'll be releasing all this series on our YouTube page very soon so that you can be able to relive these lessons and be able to download all what you have been able to learn so far. So you'll be able to get them on our YouTube page and be able to relive them accordingly as we progress. So if you want to contact our organization, you can reach out to us on our LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook pages. You can also reach out to us by phone. So I will show you our contact details now. So you can also reach out to us by email, ppdsif@gmail.com, or info@ppdsanalytics.com. This is our phone number, our LinkedIn, and our YouTube pages. So till next week, when we meet again next week, Sunday, by God's grace, I am your host, Ido Michele, and I wish you a wonderful and fruitful week ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, our presenters, and thank you, everybody.